What's up, CyberDev fam? Back for another week of cybersecurity news. So, who's watching the watchers? This week, a quiet Microsoft program gives foreign contractors access to sensitive Department of Defense data monitored only by loosely trained escorts. Meanwhile, a Chinese threat group infiltrated a U.S. National Guard network for 9 months undetected. In the shadows, attackers are moving not with noise, but with persistence, privilege abuse, and stealth. We are breaking down the ToolShell SharePoint exploit, a multi-million-dollar rootkit campaigns on SonicWall gear, and why DNS can't even trust itself. Plus, we've got a powerful open source intelligence combo to help trap phishing campaigns before they reach your users. All of that, plus your top CVEs, threat actors on the move across the globe, and your cyber tip of the week to hunt invisible persistence. I'm CyberDev. Let's get into it. Start with our threat of the week. ToolShell. Microsoft SharePoint hit with a double zero-day chain. CVEs 2025 53770 and 2025 53771. A stealthy chain dubbed ToolShell passes previous SharePoint patches to allow unauthenticated remote code execution. No phishing, no credentials, no access tokens. Already seen in the wild, targeting utilities, government bodies, and multinational manufacturers. Here's how it works. CVE 2025 53770 enables bypass of authentication. Meanwhile, CVE 2025 53771 executes arbitrary code under system level privileges. What's worse, organizations thought they were already patched from April's CVEs 49704 and 49706. ToolShell sidesteps that. The implications of this proves patching alone isn't enough. Attackers adapt faster than security teams test mitigations. You need continuous validation. You need to simulate attacks against patched environments to see what still breaks. The immediate actions from this, patch now. This one's critical. For our next story, audit SharePoint logs for unexpected PowerShell or DLL spawns. Use EDRs with memory scanning for behaviors, not just known hashes. In our other top news, Microsoft subcontractor escorts have DoD access. Over the past decade, Microsoft has utilized foreign contractors to support DoD systems, escorted by personnel often lacking the technical depth to challenge risky behaviors. No active breach confirmed, but the exposure potential is immense. The implication of this, the insider threat isn't always rogue. It's often unqualified. The security takeaway from this, background checks do not equal guaranteed technical oversight. Enforce least privilege, zero trust rules, session recordings on high value operations. Salt Typhoon is back again, this time with a breach of National Guard network. This Chinese APT has accessed a U.S. state National Guard network for 9 months, mapping out administrative flows, credentials, configurations, and email patterns. This is cyber espionage that becomes kinetic in conflict. The flaws that have been exposed through this attack, phishing, plus misconfigured firewall, has exposed RDP ports. What's at risk? Not just data, but operational movements and communications between guard units, which in the hands of nation-state actors that are looking to do harm to the United States can be dangerous. Cloudflare's 1.1.1 goes dark. A botched internal misconfiguration took down 1.1.1, the world's most privacy-respecting DNS, for over an hour. This resulted in millions of users getting the old 404 on their screen. The implication in this is if DNS is your single point of failure, your system isn't resilient. Consider using a multi-provider failover DNS service such as Quad9 or OpenDNS. A new malware dubbed Overstep infected end-of-life SonicWall SMA 100 devices. How did it do this? It installs a rootkit, deletes logs, open reverse shell listeners, and attack the exploit vector. Exploits in unpatched firmware and unsigned system binaries. The impact of this is it has compromised VPN contractors and jumped into internal networks. The takeaway is replace obsolete gear. End of life does not equal safe. Threat actors love appliances you forgot about. UNFI, 350 million revenue loss after breach. The United Natural Foods reported massive financial losses tied to a cyber attack back in June. Details suggest ongoing lateral movement and unpatched known vulnerability. The breach vector, legacy Syntrix, Samba misconfigurations. The lesson in this, cyber attacks are business threats. Security equals revenue protection. Oracle patches OCI code editor RCE. OCI's cloud IDE had an unauthenticated RCE flaw that let attackers run remote commands in customer projects. A nightmare for SaaS and DevSecOps teams. 3 CVEs were fixed this week in Cisco's Identity Services engine. All scored 10.0. One flaw allowed unauthenticated RCE via a crafted HTTP payload. Patch this immediately. Consider segmented ISE from internet exposed assets. Let's look at some CVEs that have been popping up this week. CVE 2025-53770 and 53771 SharePoint RCE chain. CVE 2025-20337 Cisco ISE unauthenticated RCE. CVE 2025-6558 Chrome GPU Sandbox Escape. CVE 2025-23266 and 23267 the NVIDIA Container Toolkit LPE. CVE 2025-54309 Rush FTP exploited in the wild. CVE 2025-6965 SQLite memory corruption, big sleep. And CVE 2025-37103 HPE Wi-Fi AP bypass. Those CVEs you might want to take a look at, because they might cause some havoc. Now let's take a look at some cyber incidents from around the world. Almost 2.17 billion in crypto theft. H1 2025. North Korea leads the pack with 1.5 billion in attacks. Most breaches come from seed phrase thefts, wallet app spoofing, and supply chain hacks of plugins. Brazilian, Indian, and US citizens are the most impacted by these thefts. Armenia rolls out full face recognition network. No oversight, no controls. Transit government and mall now monitor citizen movement, raising global concerns about privacy and ethics. 620 malware lace sign drivers found rootkits like Festi and RedDriver now use sign drivers from legitimate vendors. They bypass allow listing, making detection nearly impossible without kernel-level tools. Bait trap phishing hijacked 17,000 sites. A major phishing kit is cloning news outlets and running spoofed Google ads to redirect users to crypto drain sites. Always check the address of the web browser you're going to. Russian spy convicted in Dutch IP theft. The attacker leaked confidential NXP and ASML chip designs to Russia, exposing dual-use export controls. The espionage battle now bleeds into semiconductor sovereignty. ADS-based keylogger and homebrew scam. Hackers store keylogs inside Linux extended attributes, hidden from most file viewers. Meanwhile, a fake homebrew installer on Google can lead to a full system compromise. Always check what you're downloading. Let's talk about our tool of the week. OSINTMap plus NortixMail open source combo. OSINTMap organizes dozens of reconnaissance tools, including whois, breach lookups, metadata scans, DNS scraping, and more into a unified database. NortixMail, self-hosted disposable email service for secure phishing tests or monitoring how addresses are resold. A use case for these tools. If you spin up decoy domains and register via NortixMail, you can now monitor phishing attempts and pivot with OSINTMap to ID attacker IPs, mail headers, and web servers. I think this could come in handy with our last few stories. This is real world blue teaming. Defensive recon to trap attackers in their own behavior patterns. Now for our tip of the week. Hunt hidden scheduled tasks. Windows persistence. Threat actors use zero-indexed SD missing scheduled tasks to survive reboots and evade detection. Use tools like autoruns and task scheduler view. That's it for this week of the CyberDev News Corner. From SharePoint 0 days to outdated VPN appliances still being used in the enterprise, this week reminded us, silence doesn't mean safety. Whether it's a backdoor rootkit with kernel access or a DNS outage due to internal slip-ups, the real threat is false confidence in systems we stopped questioning. Visibility must go deeper. Patch fatigue must be addressed, and defenders must simulate, not just wait. Stay alert, stay sharp, and keep hunting. This is CyberDev, keeping you safe, one click at a time.